So good morning, Glenn.
Good morning.
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. It's really great to see you, and we're really excited that you've agreed to be our well-being ambassador.
I hope I can, in some way, be a small help.
Yeah. Well, no, you already are a large help, and everybody, in our organisation, they're all waiting for this video. So they really want to, and they want to speak with you. They're fighting over reading the book, but. I just wanted to, is it possible for you to just introduce yourself a little bit?
Well, I'm Glenn McCrory.
Yeah.
Who grew up with a love of boxing, not from a particularly boxing area, a little mining village just outside Newcastle, and loved the sport so much, made it my life's work. I should have stuck in the school a little bit more, but back then, it was really a case of when you went to the work was the steel company or the mines. It was a very working class area, smoke everywhere, shipyard. That was the northeast of England. And then a lady called Margaret Thatcher came along and wiped out everything. Just took away everybody's livelihood and decimated a nation. And now, so growing up, there was no hope above hope for us in my generation. The biggest unemployment black spot in the whole of the UK was a place in northwest Durham, and that's where God allowed me to be born. So it was a very tough childhood, but I had boxing. I found boxing pretty quick, and I found a man called Muhammad Ali, who took me out of my little mining village, took me out of that darkness and allowed me to see a light and see a future and see hope. And so I owe so much to that great man.
Yeah. I don't know if you can you talk about how it was when you met him and
my boxing career was a pretty tough career when you come from an area where there's not a lot. In Newcastle, there's three sports: football, and football. So boxing had never really took off. And yet it's a tough area, and there was a lot of boxing around, but no success. Nobody ever won anything in the northeast of England. I was the first world champion ever in history to come from my region. But I got into boxing. I had a successful amateur career, but all I wanted to be was a professional. I turned professional in London. The bright lights, big city. But just to give you an idea of my career, the first professional boxing match I ever saw in real life, I was in it.
Oh, wow.
I'd never.
Oh, wow.
We had no money. We never traveled. We had no money as kids. So the first fight I ever saw live, the first professional fight, was my fight that I was in. So that shows you a little bit about naivety. But I was good. I was put in at a weight I shouldn't have been in. I was put in as a heavyweight, but I won my first 13 fights. And about my seventh fight, I got the chance to box in London, in Mayfair, a big swanky hotel in Mayfair. And I didn't know this, but it was about my fifth fight, and the guest of honor was Muhammad Ali. And I had no idea of this. I just come to fight, and then I get in the ring, and sitting 10 yards away from me on the top table in his bow tie, looking resplendent, was my hero, was the greatest of all time. And I wanted to connect. I wanted to let him know what he meant to me, what a hero he was just from a little kid from nowhere. And I did the Ali shuffle and wound my arm up, and I did some showboating, and it was just for him. And it wasn't very good, to be honest. But after the fight, I'm a bit disappointed. I won the fight comfortably enough, and I'm in the dressing room taking my boots off. And Jarvis is there, the promoter, the world famous promoter way back. He popped his head in the corner. He said, "McCrory, fasten them boots. Muhammad Ali wants to meet you." And Muhammad Ali wanted to meet me, and I went down to see him, and he was just the most beautiful man in the world. He had so much time for me. He made me feel $1 million. He wanted his picture took with me, and it was him asking to see me. It was him asking for his picture. That was the mark of the man. he was making me feel like the greatest. And it was, and I've still got the picture in the other room. I've still got the picture of me and Ali on the wall. And he was great. He said, one day you'll be world champion. And it was that took me through some very bad days. The fact that he had time for a little person, and he made that little person seem like a big person and allowed him to grow. So it's always a thing of mine to spend time with the kids, the kids that come for an autograph or come to talk to you, ask you questions. Make sure you spend time with them, because you don't know how much a small conversation can affect somebody's life. And it could have been easily, if I stood for an autograph for him to say, oh no, go having time. That could have affected me for the rest of my life. The same as him saying, you're prettier than me. You're faster than me. You're prettier than me. You're going to be world champion. Mark my words. But cut that out. So that was it. And I carried on fighting. I had a very bad patch when I wasn't well managed, and I was put in with opponents I shouldn't have been in. I was 19 years of age, and I went through a period of, I didn't have a trainer, and I went through a period where I lost 5 out of 6 fights, and my career was over. And it was from then that I had to resurrect my career, which I did, and got myself down in weight. Again, no professional trainer, no gym, no nothing, but out of no room above a fruit shop that I rented with my dole money, I became the British, the Commonwealth, and the World Cruiserweight champion. One punch bag, no ring, no toilet.
My
goodness. So just I could have done so much better had I had a great trainer, a great gym, great facilities, a good manager. But that wasn't to be. But my lesson is you can still do it if you just have the will. You have the will. I had the will and the hard work and the determination through all the odds to still become a world champion. So for kids out there, you don't need the best boots. You don't need the best shorts. You don't need a great football. My hero before Ali was a great footballer, was best.
Yes.
I bet he could do more with a tennis ball than most people would ever do with a football in their life. Talent is about hard work. Nobody got God given it. It's hard work. It's go out there and do it.
Yeah. I love those stories, and I just wanted to hear from you about your using these experiences. Do you think it's possible that they had an impact on your mental health, a positive impact?
Very much so. Everything that happens to you in life has an effect on your mental health. It's the same as your physical health. If you're going to be down the fish shop, although I do like some fish and chips, like one's on a Friday, but if you are going to, put rubbish into your body, you're going to be physically unfit. And if you get lots of rubbish going into your mind, if you're treat bad, or you treat yourself bad, or you put yourself in bad situations, or you find yourself in bad situations, as we all are, our mental health is gonna suffer as well. So that's. And often mental health is not your doing. Mental health can be other people's doing, situations that you find yourself in, inadvertently. It can all have an effect. And at the present moment, there's going to be a lot of problems with mental health, right from children who for 2 months now have been cooped up. My littlest daughter was crying the other day because she hasn't seen her friends. She'll get the chance occasionally, on her phone, she FaceTimes them. But people are losing, we're going to find people that's lost their jobs, that's lost their livelihood, that spent 40 years building the business up, and they've lost not just that, but their house. It is a terrible, terrible time where a lot of people are going to suffer with big problems.
Yeah. I know we talked before about how you manage your mood to make it into a positive mood. you know, what advice would you give the nation about, you know, what kind of things would, you know, could we put in place to help us through all of this?
It's very difficult because there's no, you know, I'm no expert. I have suffered very, very badly with certain things that's happened in my life, and you know, I come from as I said, you know, a family on a very low income, 6 of us. My mom decided to foster then adopt another brother, which brought its own problems of, you know, I've got loads of brothers and sisters, and my mom wants somebody else rather than us. And I think we all had, you know, you're just little kids, and we all had. David became my closest brother, and you know, we found out he had a nervous disease called Friedreich's ataxia, which attacked his body and left him in bits. And you know, so I watched the young man that I learned to love, and you know, give up my bunk bed for him. I watched him die. You know, I watched him die, and you know, my whole childhood, my whole growing up was watching my brother die. He'd start to choke, he'd fall down the stairs, he'd fall over, he'd injure himself. So it was constantly a fight for life for me and my brothers and sisters and my parents to keep him alive. So that had its own problems. That brought its own problems, apart from, you know, what happened outside of the household in life itself. So it has been. It's for me. You know, I can't lie and try and hide up and think it's been some joyful story. It's been bleak. It's been dark. It's for a large part of my life, I have literally not wanted to go on. And you know, anybody that knows me knows I've lived my life with my finger well and truly on the self-destruct button. And that's, you know, and the one thing that's kept me going is David's fight for life. You know, he never gave up. Till his dying day, he was fighting to stay alive. So that given me in my darkest moments a sense of not quitting. And you know, I'll be absolutely frank with you that I'm just going back, you know, to the beginning of the pandemic when I had given up, a period of my life when I'd given up. I just thought this is it. There's nothing more, you know. And I started. I've always been a Irish family, so I've always been able to drink to championship levels. And I started to do that again, and something clicked. I found myself on the ropes, found myself on the canvas once more, and something in my head clicked. Come on, Glenn, pull yourself together. You know, for David, for yourself most of all, get yourself back on track. And so like a fighter, I thought, right, what's bad in my life? What can I eradicate? And it should have been done a long time before, and that was alcohol. That's been the monkey on my back. So for once, and finally, me, myself, not somebody telling me to, or not a partner or anybody else saying, yo, you should not drink. It's me, and I don't want to drink. And I've never, for weeks now, I've never felt as good in my life. I've never felt as motivated, as positive, as you know, as healthy. I'm up in the morning. Normally people know I'm up by 5 o'clock. Well, I'm normally had a coffee and ready out for a walk by 5:30 for 5 to 15 miles most mornings.
Wow.
So feeling great. And I think in life you've got to have something like that. Life is for any single human being is tough. It will, you know, we'll have our good days and we'll have our bad days, and that is life. That's what life is. The world is a beautiful, beautiful place with beautiful people, and it can also be a horrible, horrible place with terrible times, and you know, so much pain. But that goes and that passes, and there's good people around you, and you need to talk. It's very, very important to talk, and to get it out and to let people know, because you know, people will help you. People will get you through it. So that's me. I feel I've come to a time in my life where I feel, instead of, you know, a couple of months ago, the beginning of this pandemic, thinking it's all over, I'm thinking when we come out of this, it's time to go. It's time to fly. It's time to, to reinvent yourself, and it's time to find a new adventure and soar once more.
What are your plans? What's the first thing you're going to do after lockdown?
For me, lockdown was the actual physical sense of lockdown has not been that great, because obviously I'd love to travel again, but there's reservations about travel, there's reservations about restaurants, there's reservations about a pub, which I've got no problem going. I've got no problem going in a pub and having a cup of coffee or having a juice. That doesn't worry me. I don't want to drink anymore. That's my decision. So I'm happy with that. So I am. I've got my little kids around me. I've got. I'm happy. I just want to get back to work. I want to, more than anything, I just want to see people beat each other up again. which doesn't sound great, which doesn't sound the right thing to say, but anybody that knows the sport I love, and how many kids who are used to, I know what it's like to go to the gym and be around boxers and be around the amateur gyms with the young kids, and for me that was my life. The minute I walked through the door and the bags were there, and kids had boxing boots on and fancy shorts, I was alive again. And then I go back to home where, it was I had lovely parents and beautiful brothers and sisters, but it was very, very tough. It was very tough growing up. But the minute I walked in that gym door and saw the color and saw the life and saw people skipping and hitting the bags and sparring, for me I was alive again. And I think that'll be the same. That'll be exactly the same. I want to get back in the gym with the guys, training. I want to get back in the big fights, back seeing it all, and back in the world that I love so much.
Brilliant. That sounds amazing. So then for us, it's for us to watch this space.
Yes, I've been blessed. Jay, in a way that, my boxing career was very tough, but I had some amazing moments. And you're in France at the moment. I realized early in my career that if I could win a world title, I was there. I knew I was never going to make any money because I never had the people, I never had the connections. I wasn't in the right area, didn't have the connections around me, didn't have the promoters and managers and people around me to make that. But I thought, if I can win a world title by hook or by crook, I'll have a living. I'll always see things, do things, and I've done that. I went straight from boxing into commentating, and for the last 31 years, I've been a broadcaster. And my last fight, I was in Las Vegas doing Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder. My whole life, I've been around the big fights. I was around Tyson. I was part of the Tyson camp. So a lot of times, I thought it's not about what you do or the money you make. It's about the experience, because the one thing in life that you get a nice car, it's gone. You get a house, it's gone. Things come and go. Experience in life is there forever.
Yeah.
I can lie in bed and close my eyes and I can be back with Tyson. I don't stay there for long, but I can be back in Paris, out running on the Champs-Élysées, for my last few fights when I trained in Paris. I can be in New York and experience and the things that I've done. Meeting Ali when I was just a teenager and him telling me I'd be a world champion, sparring with Tyson, climbing the 8th highest mountain in the world, however terrible that was. And I think for mental health, you've got to, it was glorious as well, climbing the 8th highest mountain in the world, the Himalayas. It was amazing, but it was very, very tough. And this is the thing. If you're climbing a mountain or you're sparring Tyson that's tough. That is very, very hard, but it's also amazing. And years later, you look back and think, what, I went through a tough time there. It was fantastic as well. So for the kids out there, who are feeling depressed, you make your own dreams. Make your own dreams come true. The biggest person to hold you back is you. So get out there and do it. If you believe you can be something, you will become that. You will become it. So don't hold yourself back. If I can come from a little mining town to do the things that I've done, to see the places that I've seen, to have the experiences. You know, I've acted I've acted as a lead in the West End in a play. I've climbed mountains. It's just give yourself no boundaries. Your happiness, your mental health is in your hands. So take your life in your hands and do the best. Make it the best you can make it.
Wow, thanks, Glenn. That is amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank
And,
you. It's lovely to talk to you. It's fantastic. I'm over the moon to be involved in the foundation. It's a great charity and a great cause, and I hope I can to help someone, just lift them a little bit. The greatest of all time, I was lucky, the greatest of all time helped me. So hopefully, you know, maybe something somebody says out there or I say will have a little effect on somebody.
Will have a big effect. And I hope you don't mind me just saying as well and talking about your book and how amazing it is, that Carrying David, for those that want more inspiration. Sorry.
David, there's a play out about David. They're talking about a documentary and a movie, and you know, it was very, very tough growing up with David. It was, you know, it wasn't any sunshine. It was very tough for him. It was very tough for us around him. But it was also the greatest thing in my life. It was the greatest blessing of my life to have him in my life. And there's not a day goes by that he's not in my consciousness. He's not in my prayers. He's not in my mind. You know, because sometimes in life, the most special, the most fantastic of people like David, and their courage is amazing. It's absolutely. We just saw Colonel Tom Moore, you know, just get up, 100 years of age, and just walk through his garden for other people, and raise 35 million. You know, so you can see amazing things in just normal people.
Yeah.
The time.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you.